Welcome, folks. Welcome to the Speaker Attraction Method 5 Day Fast Challenge. Welcome, Evolve Benton here, the Speaking for Profit coach. Welcome to the space. I'm just going to give us a few minutes so that folks can get logged in and get this good knowledge. I'm excited that you are here. As you come into the space and you watch, feel free to add comments. If you give us permission to be able to see who you are, those comments will populate and pop up. If you don't give us permission to see it, I won't know who you are. And I might be calling you Facebook user or YouTube user, depending on where you're watching. But welcome to the space. Evolve Benton here. I'm actually in amazing, sunny Los Angeles, California, where I was born and raised. So do me a favor, put into the comments of the video, where are y'all from? What cities do we have in the space so I can see who's here? Someone said, glad to be here. Thanks for putting this on. And that's Ange. Thank you so much for being here as well. Just put into the comments what city, state, where are we watching from before we get started. And we'll get started in the next minute or so, y'all. We are not going to take up a lot of folks' time. I want to make sure that we're able to get started and everyone gets that information. Nisha here, excited to be here and listen. I'm also in Tungva land, aka LA. Thank you so much for bringing in the native land that we're in, Nisha. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you being here. Thank you for being in the space. Okay, we got some other folks in the building. Thank you so much. Detroit here, that's what's up. We got Pittsburgh, California in the building too. That's cool, y'all. Thank you so much for being here. So I'm going to go on and get us started because time is in the essence. Implementation is important, especially when we're talking about speaking and being able to move our businesses forward. And what I love about this platform, StreamYard, is that we have the ability to communicate with one another and we have the ability to bring in different media. So for you all who are creating content or creating amazing videos, I would suggest using StreamYard. It's one of my favorite tools to use. And I'm going to get into our training for today. So this is the Speaker Attraction Method 5 Day Challenge, day one. And this is our live training. A little bit of housekeeping and how this is going to work for us throughout this week. Throughout this week, I'll be going live to do these trainings every day at noon. So we'll have a training today, Monday through, and we're going to talk a little bit about what you're going to receive at each training, but we'll be here at noon. Now, let's say you're like, Evolve, I can't make it at noon. I got a business meeting. I got to do this. I got to take my kids here and there. I totally understand that. And that's great. We will also give you access to the replay. So the replay is going to be in the Wealthy Speaker and Consulting group. And it also will be up on our YouTube page. All of this information will stay up for an additional week, which will be next week. And then we're going to take it down. If you want access to the information beyond the next 2 weeks, then that's when you can decide to purchase the VIP, which is $97, and that also gives you access to Q&As from me. So a few of you have signed up for the VIP. After we have our live training today, I'll be doing a 30-minute VIP session with you in Q&A, and I'll be sure to comment and put that in the comments so that folks can sign up if they would like to. You'll also get an email about that, and you have gotten several emails about it up to this point about the VIP and being able to tune into that. So that's a little bit of housekeeping about how this will work. And let's jump into the curriculum for today. So who am I and why do I matter? People always want to know who I am. So I'm going to give you a little bit of that information. I'm not going to spend a long time on this because this is not the important part. The important part is you learning how to attract your ideal clients and get paid to speak. So if you're here because you want to get paid to speak, just put that in the comments. Put the words paid to speak. I am Evolve Benton. I'm the Speaking for Profit coach. I've been speaking for the last decade in numerous type of venues, whether that's colleges or in this photo, as you can see, I'm speaking at an event called Butch Voices, which takes place usually in Oakland, California on a bi-yearly or biannual type of event. I'm also the parent of two amazing puppies, Ashby and Marley. They're in this picture. The black dog is Ashby and the brown dog is Marley. And the reason I always put them in my presentations is they're in this environment. So if you hear some dogs barking in the space, those are my babies. And I'm also the author of the book, Sir, Poetry Dedicated to Boyhood and Black Queer Love. So if you're interested in being able to write your own book or share your own story, I have a little bit of that information to be able to support you with as well. So that's a little bit about me. I'm from Los Angeles. Shouts out to my cousin Jamal, who just came into the building. He's here from Los Angeles, California as well. Shouts out to my fam. And I see some people putting paid to speak in the comments as well. And someone said they learned about me through Opulence, which is actually one of our alums in the program. So shouts out to Opulence for inviting people. I appreciate that. So today's discussion, outline of our topics for today. We're going to talk about this week and what to expect, right? And we talked about that a little bit, but I'm going to give you a little bit more detail about what are we going to go through as far as training every day. I'm going to give you an overview of the Wealthy Speaker ecosystem. And what I would suggest for you all that are here now, please take out your notebook, take some notes during this time, and really get into the training. You also will have an opportunity to go back to the replay, but there's nothing like taking notes in the moment. Then we're going to go into how to win the scholarship on Friday. So how do you win this challenge, y'all? Right? You are not just here in this challenge just to hang out with us. I know that a lot of y'all are here because you want to win an opportunity to be a part of one of our programs. So I'm going to talk about that. And then we're going to talk about getting signed up on LinkedIn and next steps in homework assignment, right? And this is going to be similar to the way that we do the training throughout the week. I'm going to give you some knowledge. I'm also going to give you some homework and give you an overview of a concept so that you can put it into action. The one thing I want you all to know is that there is nothing that can happen in your business without implementation. So I am the person who wants to support you with implementing. I don't want to just support you with a bunch of theory and knowledge in our time together. I want to give you the information that's going to allow you to build on this and to actually get paid to speak. So we're going to do a lot of implementation during our time together. So let's talk a little bit about what this week is going to be and what you all can expect. Today is day one. And as I mentioned, I'm going to give you an overview of the Wealthy Speaker ecosystem. What I want you to know is that the speaker attraction method is one part of the Wealthy Speaker ecosystem. And this full ecosystem is what I use with my paid clients in Speaking for Profit University. The reason we're focusing on the beginning is because the foundation is the very important part to building out your business. If you can have this foundation, you can definitely secure some paid opportunities, get on phone calls with decision makers, and get booked and paid to speak. But if you want longevity in this and you want to build out a business that's sustainable, that's when the other parts of the ecosystem are going to come in. And I want to give you that. I want to give you a larger overview so you can really understand how this machine works so that you're able to build the business and really take it to the next level. Day two, which is tomorrow, right, is all about how to create a Dream 100 and your speaker leads list. What I see from so many people, y'all, is that everyone wants to start reaching out to people on LinkedIn, download an email list from here and there of 5,000, 10,000 people, and doing all of this cold outreach. But what we've learned within Speaking for Profit University is that usually our first 10 to 15 paid speaking opportunities are right within our personal network, right? So we don't have to go out to cold traffic to people we don't know and start pitching them before we actually pitch the people that are actually in our community. So that's what we're going to talk about day two. Day three, we are going to go into creating your attractive speaker profile. Because for me, I've been able to play both sides of this coin, and I want to be transparent with you all in that. I currently work at an organization that pays speakers to come in and speak. I work in higher education during my daily regimen. And then I also have a business where I teach people to go and pitch people. So I know that it's important for your profile to be attractive and for people to see you as a speaker and an expert in order for them to be able to really want to pay you to come in and speak or to consult for them. So I'm going to give you the tips on day three on how I've been able to really establish my profile and support my clients in doing that to stand out in the crowd, because that's what you want to do. There's a lot of people pitching themselves as speakers, telling people they can come in and solve a problem, but how do you really stand out and make yourself look amazing? So that's going to be day three. Day four, we're going to book calls with decision makers. So I'm going to give you some of the messaging and strategies that I use to be able to book calls with decision makers. And phone calls are important, y'all. phone calls or Zoom calls. Super important in this business because that's where the negotiation happens. That's where we learn as speakers and experts what are the ways that we can solve problems for organizations and so that we can move into the next space with people and really be able to support them and get paid to speak. So those calls that you're booking with decision makers, they're really the gateway to you receiving that contract and you getting paid. So that's going to be day 4. And then we have day 5, and that's going to be all about the seal the deal checklist. Now, I told you all that I won't be able to give you the whole wealthy speaker ecosystem in our 5 days together, but I do want to give you that seal the deal checklist because that checklist is really going to support you in being able to understand, do I have everything I need to move forward with this contract? On day 5, I also will let you all know who is the winner of the challenge, right? Who's the one who wins the scholarship? And let me tell y'all about these prizes because I'm excited about them, right? One, someone will win an opportunity to be part of our Elite Speakers Bundle, which is a masterclass bundle that I put together last year of all of our master classes, everything from getting to paid to speak at home, crafting your signature talk, how to get paid at college campuses. We have about 5 or 6 master classes that that person is going to get access to. And then the high winner, the number one winner, right? The champion of the challenge, they're going to actually get a scholarship into our core program, which is Speaking for Profit Now. And our core program at our university, right? Speaking for Profit Now is about $2,000 for an enrollment. So we're giving away almost $3,000 worth of prizes, and the folks who win are also going to get some swag. Y'all see, I got a little bit of swag on right now. We love our Speaking for Profit swag. So this is not just a challenge to be able to get paid to speak. That's great. But I want to give you also an initiative to win the challenge so that you can be a part of our community and get more knowledge to be able to build your business and move it forward. So I see we got some folks in the building. We got somebody said, woohoo, prizes. Yes, I love a good prize as well. I want to motivate y'all, right? This is something that you're going to be able to use to impact the world, and you deserve to be celebrated. So prizes are always need to be in there. And then we got Texas in the house. So excited for this. Welcome to the building. A scholarship. Wow. Yep. A whole scholarship. Exactly. Right. And that's an opportunity, y'all. Like, we want to be able to support people and be as accessible as possible. So, yes, this is the way that the daily breakdown is going to work. I just wanted to give you all a larger overview so you can know when to show up and how to show up. As you can see, we've got the comments going. So this is a space where you can ask questions, where you can really be able to appreciate me as a facilitator, and where you can give me love. You give me more energy and I'll be able to give you more energy as well. Right? That's really what we want to do in this space. So this gives us a breakdown. Like I said, I'll be going live every day at noon. But even if you can't make it at noon, just come back to the YouTube page or to the Facebook group and watch the training, right? If you go to the Facebook group and you go to the guide section of the Facebook group, that's where all of the trainings will live. And that's also where our homework posts will live. And I'll get into that a little bit later on. So let's move on so that we can get into our training for the day. So let's talk about the overview of the wealthy speaker ecosystem. This is something that I'm always excited about. If you don't have your notebook out, this is the time to get it out so that, excuse me, so that you can take some notes, okay? We want to be able to take notes and go back to this. And for you all who have had the opportunity, I hope you have. I know that some of you were asking me for permission. So I'm actually going to go over to my email right now and give y'all some permission to have that workbook. But everyone got access to a workbook for this. So that is where you can also take your notes for today, right? Don't forget about that notebook. It's a great opportunity. And I'll be sure to send that out an email for everyone to make sure that everyone has access to it, right? The notebook is very important and very powerful. So the overview of the wealthy speaker ecosystem. The first part of the wealthy speaker ecosystem is the speaker attraction method. And that's what we're focusing on for the next 5 days, right? And the speaker attraction method, really, I'm going to break that down for you all and give you the key steps to it. But I want you to think about it this way, right? If this is a 3-step ecosystem, before you go on a date with someone, right? Or even if you're dating yourself, for our folks out there who might not have the same attraction as everyone else, an attraction needs to be there, whether it's a physical attraction, whether it's an emotional attraction, whether it's I just like this person's hair, I like their outfit, I like the way they smell. People need to be attracted to you. And the way that they're attracted to you, it's through either social media, right? The marketing that you're putting out there, the way that you present yourself, or the way that you nurture relationships. So that's why we start off with the speaker attraction method. A lot of folks come to me and they want to start a speaking or consulting business, and there's no way to even find who they are online. If y'all go right now on Google and you put in Evolve Benton, you're going to find several things on me. You're going to find probably videos of me speaking on YouTube. You're going to find podcast interviews. You're going to find places I've worked. People go and Google you and they want to see who you are. So it's important that your profile is as attractive as possible. The other side of this coin, when it comes to the speaker attraction method, is really being able to attract your ideal client. So we don't want to just attract anybody, y'all, right? We don't want to just attract any Joe off the street, as my dad would say. We want to attract people that we actually want to work with, that we're aligned with, that we want to impact their lives and transform with them, and that we actually can get paid from. So the beginning of my business is that I actually had an opportunity to speak at a lot of places, but they weren't paying me my value because I was attracting low paid clients. So I really had to shift my profile in order to start really being able to build on high paid speaking opportunities. And that meant shifting the way that I marketed myself and the way that I presented myself. This stuff is not going to happen overnight, but there's some things within our framework that can really support you to take it there. So that's step one of the wealthy speaker ecosystem. The next step is the seal the deal playbook on phone calls, right? And these phone calls are important because this gives you an opportunity to really not only negotiate whether or not this is an opportunity for you to speak, but for you to see if you have a solution to the problem that that client is having. So, whether we're going in to speak from a stage as a TED Talk, or we're going in to do a workshop at a conference, or we're going in to consult a group of board members, we need to have a phone call before. And I'm gonna tell y'all this story. I tell this story to all of my clients, so y'all need to hear it as well. Why is it important to have a phone call with people before you sign a contract? I was doing a panel a few years ago. Great panel. Someone reached out to me. It was LGBT month. It was Pride month. They said, Evolve, come to this tech company. We want you to do a panel. I said, great. We didn't get on a phone call. I was like, I've done a panel before. I don't need to get on a call. I'm thinking I'm just sitting on a panel. So I get prepared, I get dressed, I show up at the organization. This was before COVID, so we were doing things in a live space. I show up, I'm committed, I'm ready to go. And when I get there, the event organizer says, Evolve, do you have all of your questions together for the panelists? And I looked at the person, I said, oh, I'm leading the panel. And she said, yeah, you are, silly. Like, you didn't know that. So I look at the day of event planner and the paperwork, and I'm like, oh snap, I'm not on a panel, I'm leading a panel. So I had to go run into the restroom and write a bunch of interview questions down and get prepared to actually lead and facilitate a panel. I was literally thinking that I was just sitting there as a panelist and having to answer a bunch of questions. What I'm wanting you all to see is that there was definitely a hiccup in communication. And a lot of that hiccup came from me not being willing to get on a call and talk to these people about it. I also was paid under my value because I charge a lot more to facilitate space and to host a panel than I would charge to sit on as a panelist. So it's important that we seal the deal and get on a call. We never talk about money on a call if you cannot. If you can push that aside, don't talk about money. What we are on these phone calls for is to literally understand, does this client have a problem that I have the solution for? And if they do they have a budget that can actually pay me for my consulting or speaking opportunity? Once you figure out that that person has that, that's really when we get into the next step of wealthy speaker ecosystem, which is the wealth code script. And that is when we start to put together our proposals. These proposals are game changer in the powerhouse of being able to be a high paid speaker. So on that seal the deal phone call, you're listening to the prospect. You're being an active listener. You're really writing down notes as you should be doing today, right? So that when you're putting together your proposal in that wealth script code, you're able to write down exactly the way that you're able to support that prospect and that client in moving forward. So this system is the way that we get paid high paid speaking. We're being very intentional about one, who are we attracting? Two, who are we speaking to on phone calls in order to really be able to find our ideal clients? And three, who are we taking the time to send out proposals to so that we ultimately can secure contracts? And these contracts that I want to teach you all to secure, they're not 500, 300, $200 contracts. No, my clients and myself, we're getting paid anywhere from $2,000, right, to 20, 30, 40, $50,000 in that time, right? That's the amount we're talking about, high paid. We want you to have time to really develop yourself, because once you're able to develop some talks that really matter, then you can get out there and Beyonce it. And I'm going to tell y'all what I mean by Beyonce it. I have talks that I've been doing the last 5 to 6 years around diversity, equity, inclusion, around how to support people with grief, about healing, different things. And I've done them numerous times at numerous organizations, so much that I can go on almost like a tour like Beyonce, and I can do similar presentations, which means that I don't have to do a lot of labor and a lot of work. I can just show up in my zone of genius. That's the point I want you to get to, where you have 5 or 6 presentations put together on how to solve a particular problem, and you're just going around the globe to support different people and organizations to be able to do that and move that forward. So this is the Wealthy Speaker ecosystem. Please let me know if you have any questions about that, and feel free to put it in the comments. I will answer a few of them, but like I said, I'll go into more of a depth Q&A with the folks who signed up for the VIP. So let's get into what we're going to be working on, right? Which is the speaker attraction method, which is the first part of that wealthy speaker ecosystem, right? You got to start with your foundation, y'all. If you don't have a strong foundation, you ain't really got a system, you don't really have a business, and you don't really have something that you can grow. It's important that you pace yourself and you really have that. So, number one is mapping out your attractive speaking offer, right? And we're going to talk about all of these steps actually this week. I'm going to break all of these down for you, but I wanted to give you a larger overview for today for our training. So, when you're mapping out your attractive speaking offer, you're really going to have some time and you're going to have some questions within your workbook to really think to yourself, what are 3 or 4 offers that I have that I can test out in the marketplace? And a lot of times, this is the part where people are asking me, Evolve, what is an offer? And an offer literally is, I'm going to come in and solve this problem in this particular way. So let me give you an example of an offer. Let's say that I have a phone call with someone who wants me to come in and be able to support them with being able to build out diversity, equity, and inclusion policies at their organization. And they say, Evolve, I want you to come in and do a talk on gender and sexuality. And I'm like, cool. I have an offer. I have a training where I go through this for 2 hours. We have some opportunities for people to sign some commitment statements. I'll be able to show them a short film. What does that sound like for you, right? An offer. It's a delivery of the services. And this can show up in different ways when you're a speaker and consultant. This can show up where you're just doing it like me, speaking over some slides. This can show up when you don't have slides and it's just you speaking. It can show up with you just facilitating space and putting people into breakout groups and giving them facilitation questions. The offer shows up in so many different ways. And what ends up happening for a lot of speakers and a lot of consultants is that you all are challenged with having a Cheesecake Factory menu full of offers, right? This long menu of things that you can do. And what we really want to focus on, and when we're mapping out our attractive offer, is not a list of things. We want to focus on, like I said, 3 to 4 offers that you can deliver to the marketplace. And what I mean by the marketplace is your very own community that might be bringing you in to speak. If you're able to have these 3 or 4 offers, you can really zero down on what works. So I know for myself as a speaker and consultant, because I've been branded and created this attractive profile around being a diversity, equity, and inclusion agent, right? An educator, people see me as that now. So when I go out to reach out to people to come in and speak, they already know what kind of problems I solve. Because they know that, it makes it a lot easier for me to find opportunities for me to go out and speak. So that's what we're going to work on first. We're going to work on you mapping out your own offer and not just coming up with a list of 10, but coming up with a short list that's very niche down so that we can decide who we're going to reach out to. When we're doing this activity, we're going to go through everything: problem, solution. We're going to go through industry, and then we're going to really align it with who do you want to impact. Because you might have something that you're well versed in, maybe you're an expert at it, but maybe you're not passionate about it. And I don't know about y'all, but for me, it's important that I not only just be there speaking and consulting, but that I'm passionate about it. That is something that I actually love to do. Because if I know that I love to do it, what is one thing that Evolve's going to do? I am going to over deliver. This training that I'm doing for you all this week is free. It's free for y'all to come. And the reason I'm doing it and it's free and I love it is because it's something I'm passionate about. I started Speaking for Profit University because I want to be the one that impacts the speaking and consulting industry with as many underrepresented people as possible. When I looked into starting this business, I seen that everyone who was mostly getting paid high paid speaking and consulting contracts were not people who looked like me. So I'm passionate about it and I'm dedicating to making it happen. Number two, create your attractive speaker profile, right? So that's what we're going to end up doing on day 3, right? And we talked a little bit about this. A profile. People often ask me, a profile, is that just a picture? No, it's a picture. It's also the things that you share about yourself within bios and within media. And it's the headlines that you put on your social media to be able to attract those people. So it goes into a science, right? How do people see you? What information is out there? And what do you share to make sure that you're attracting the right people? The next part is messaging that nurtures. And what I mean by number 3, messaging that nurtures, is that when we are building relationships with people that we're going to do business with, and this is business in general, right? So this could be you being a speaker, consultant, or maybe you're neither and you're just wanting to learn how to pitch yourself better, and that's why you're here at the challenge. We have to nurture people in the messaging. So you all will notice how I've been nurturing you since you all signed up, whether you signed up today or whether you signed up 3 or 4 days ago or a week ago. You've been getting messaging from me. And that's the way that I'm nurturing my relationship with you. We don't want to go into business and be sleazy, y'all. We have to be authentic. So there's certain ways that you can send out messages that you can really show up where you're not offending people, you're not being too sleazy, too salesy, but you're actually nurturing and building a relationship out. And that's really what step 3 of the speaker attraction method is. So what I'm so excited about is that because we've been working with clients for the last 2 years, we've really been able to narrow down what messaging really works really well, especially in the beginning of relationships. And I'm going to share some of that with you later on this week so that you don't feel like lost when you get to your keyboard and you have to start reaching out to people on LinkedIn or in your personal network. We are going to use LinkedIn during our time together. And I'll tell you a little bit about that later on today. But what I want you to know is that before you even start within LinkedIn, start to think to yourself, what are some people within my own personal network that might want to hear me speak? And start writing down that short list so that you can start reaching out to folks. If folks are still with me and you're still here for the training, just put into the comments the word paid, paid, PAID. Put the word paid into the comments so that I can know that folks are still here. You're still with me. You're still hearing me. And we're still in a good place. And once I see a couple of paids come into the comment, I'm going to move forward with our training. But just put the word paid in there for me so I can see that folks are here and still in the space. Yes, I see paid coming through. Paid coming through. That's what's up. Come through, y'all. Put it into there. Yes, I love it. Yes, still here. Pay. Great. I appreciate it. And the reason I'm asking y'all to do this in particular is that I want y'all to know when we're in a collective space with one another, right? whether we're in a collective space in a Zoom room, or whether we're on StreamYard, or whether we meet together in person. When we start to do that, we're in a collective field of abundance. So everyone that just put paid, y'all gonna get paid before we know it. I want y'all to know that, right? We are calling in collective abundance with one another by doing that. And that's why I asked you to do that. I see some more paids coming in. Thank you all for participating. So, step four is booking up your calendar with decision makers. That's what we're going to work on in this speaker attraction method. And the reason we want you to book up your call with decision makers is because one, calls lead to money, like we talked about earlier, but two, you get more comfortable. Right. So during this week, when we actually tap into that, I'm going to also have you all do a little bit of homework, which requires you to do a little bit of acting. Right. I want you to get out there and be able to test out some of your call skills with some of your friends, family, and loved ones to see if you have the skills and if you're ready to get on a call. I also am going to show you how to get prepared for that call. And one way that we do that is by setting up a calendar scheduling system. The one that I use for myself is Calendly, but there are also some other systems that you can use. And I'm going to also give you a few questions that you want to include in your Calendly to make sure that you're getting on the phone with the right people, right? What you can do in Calendly is literally set it up where a person clicks the link. Let's say that Nisha wants to meet with me, right? Nisha's like, hey, Evolve, I want to meet with you on Wednesday. I'm like, cool, here's my Calendly. She'll get a link, right? Or they'll get a link. I'm not sure of your pronouns, Nisha, so I apologize if I misgendered or whatnot, but they'll get a link, right? That will say, hey, Evolve has these times scheduled and ready to go. Nisha will click it, find the time, and then usually Calendly has it set up where you can ask a bunch of questions. And I'm going to give you the questions that you can ask to make it easier for you so you can decide if you're going to get on a call with people. Let me give you an example of this. 2 weeks ago, someone got on my calendar, and you all might have seen this on my Facebook page. I actually put it up in my messenger. Right. Thank you, Nisha. Thank you, she, her. Great. You're good. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate you giving me that clarity. So I put on my Facebook about this person. This person reached out to me and they said, Evolve, I want you to come speak. And on the Calendly, I asked people, do you have a budget for me to speak? If so, how much? The person said that they only had $100. So I reached out to them and I said, unfortunately, that is below my budget. They asked me what my budget was. When I told them my budget, they told me that I was too expensive as a speaker, right? And from then on, I knew for myself that they were not my ideal client, right? Your ideal client is someone who will pay you and they will not bat an eye. They will not have a problem with it. They will not question why you're so expensive. They won't do any of that. They will be ready to pay you. And if I did not have my Calendly set up with questions to ask that, then I would have been on the phone call with someone, wasted my time and wasted their time. So you want to see your booking calls with decision makers, not so much from a scarcity model that says more, 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 but that truly says qualified, qualified, qualified. We want people who answer the questions to our Calendly, right? Who really give us clarity about how they want to work with us so that we're not wasting our time and burning ourselves out. One of our taglines for Speaking for Profit is not just to be profitable speakers, not just to get paid, but to do it in a way that causes us to have freedom and clarity and a long livelihood in our lives. Sustainability, right? Our tagline is upgrade your impact and your income. And in order for you to be the most impactful speaker and consultant, you have to show up in a way where you can over deliver. And the foundation of you being able to over deliver is really balanced by you having sustainability, which means you not accepting every speaking contract, which means you saying no to some people, which means you not getting on every phone call. So when we talk about number four on the speaker attraction method, I would say that this is the most important because you're booking up your calendar with qualified decision makers who are going to be willing to have a conversation with you and who already see that your attractive profile is worth them being a part of you solving the solution to their problem, right? So this all ties together so well because people are able to build the foundation. Now, what I want you all to know is that we're not going to skip steps. Day one is important. So if I see that there's folks in the challenge who are on day 2 or 3, but you haven't done day 1, you're going to be disqualified from being able to win that scholarship at the end of the week. And I want to make sure that whoever wins that scholarship is not a person who just clicked a bunch of buttons, but a person who is dedicated to getting paid to speak and changing and transforming their lives. So this foundation of the speaker attraction method is so important, right? It is so important. Today is just more of an overview. We're going to go into the nitty gritty throughout the week, but I really wanted to get you into the mind frame that you have to be willing to step into your greatness and step into yourself. And that starts with showing up. So for you folks who showed up live today, I really appreciate it, right? Because I know that you are committed to being here. And even if you're not able to be here live and you had to show up in the replay, at least you went back to get the knowledge. Because what I notice is that a lot of entrepreneurs talk to me in future tense. So they'll say, Evolve, I'm going to get to it. I'm going to start speaking for profit in about 6 months. Evolve, I'll get back to you on public speaking because I'm trying to start a business that can actually pay my bills. And what I hear from that is that you don't see the importance of this skill set, right? The importance of this skill set is, yes, I'm going to teach you to get paid to speak. Yes, I'm going to teach you how to book up your calendar. Yes, I'm going to teach you how to nurture people. But what we're really doing is we're nurturing yourselves. You are nurturing yourself so that you can impact the world. When we are speaking for profit, people, we are speaking for prophecy. The things that come out of your mouth literally will manifest in your life. And if you can get this skill set down, you not only will be able to change the lives of the people around you and the organizations and people that you support, but you'll be able to change your own life. And that's what I want for you. That is what speaking for profit has done for me. I've been able to pay off debt. I told you right now, I'm here working in Los Angeles, beautiful, sunny place. I can work from anywhere in the world at this point in my life. And that's mainly because I have spoken into my prophecy. Yes, I have spoken to organizations and been paid high paid opportunities, but it's because I've spoken it into my life. And I want to give you that skill set. The challenge itself is just a foundation and a ground and a place for us to meet together to be able to get it done. So I hope that that is helpful for you to get an understanding of the speaker attraction method, right? We're attracting people that we want to work with and that we're aligned to work with. So a lot of clients will come to me, y'all, and this is funny. And then I'm going to get to our next slide. They'll come to me and they say, Evolve, I'm not getting paid opportunities, right? Like people keep coming to me and thinking that I should be paid $400 or $500. And what I usually have to really talk to my clients about is, what do you think you're worth? And what I notice is that most of the clients who come to me who aren't getting paid to speak have already put it into their head that they're not worth it. So I'll ask them, the next question I'll ask is, well, how much is your speaking opportunities? What's your rate? And they'll be like, well, I don't know, sometimes 500, maybe 1,000. I don't know, Evolve. How do I price myself? That goes into your value. If you're sitting up there and you're saying to yourself, I haven't gotten a paid speaking opportunity, I don't have a paid client, and you don't even know how much you're supposed to charge or how much your worth is, how are you able to speak that for prophecy? We have to be clear on what we want. So what I should be hearing from you is, Evolve, I don't have my ideal clients around me who are willing to pay me $3,000 to $4,000, which I know I am worthy of. I know I am worthy of this, right? Write that down in your notebook. I know I am worthy of whatever amount you know that you're worthy of, and guarantee that you will be able to manifest that into your life. So now that we've went through our content for today, right? Please put questions into the comments if you have them. That's our content for today, right? Speaking for profit and speaking for prophecy. I see folks coming through giving me the tagline and the note. Yes, we are speaking to change our lives. Let's talk about how you're going to win that scholarship on Friday, right? Let's talk about that. And I see folks coming through. Please come through, whatever you want to share. I am worthy to be paid as a speaker. You are more than worthy to be paid as a speaker. Thank you so much for that. I call in that affirmation for you. Ashe, 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 and so it is. Feel free to put other things in the comments. I'll bring them in so that everyone else can see them. So how do you win this scholarship, right? Because y'all see the trophy, right? Y'all want the trophy. Y'all want to be winners. Show up every day and watch the training. That's number one. right? Watch the training. And when you watch the training, make sure that you comment on the video so that we can see that you were actually here. And that's whether you were here in live or here in the future, because we're going to be able to see that and see who's actually watched it. The next thing that you're going to want to do is do the homework for the day. The homework is the way that we're going to give you points. So everyone who turns in a homework assignment will get 1 point, right? So make sure that you turn it in, and I'm going to get into what today's homework is, and you need to get that done before the next training, right? So a lot of people do challenges and they'll be like, get it done at midnight, but I know that we're on all different type of time zones. So what I would suggest is that before the next day at noon PST, your homework should be put into the Facebook group. That's where we're going to be accepting the homework. So if you're not in the Wealthy Speaker and Consultant Facebook group, you need to get into that group in order to be able to win the challenge. And there will be a homework post. I'll be sure to highlight that right after this so that you can see it. But it will be a homework post literally in the Facebook group for you to go. And in that post, in the comments, is where you're going to actually put your homework. This is very important because my team and I will be going back to that to see who does it so that we can qualify our winner by the end of the week. So make sure that you do that for yourself. So there's two, actually three ways, right? Show up live, make sure that you put that into the comments that you were here so we could see that you were here. Two, do the homework every day, right? And three, actually implement the practices, because yes, you want to win the scholarship, you want to win the challenge at the end, but you also want to be prepared to be a part of our Speaking for Profit University incubator. So you can see this week as a way to get you prepared for that. I don't want you getting into the incubator and then you don't even have all of this stuff together that we suggested you do at the challenge, right? Because then you won't be really prepared to pick up the other things within the uh, wealthy speaker ecosystem. So we want you to have all that layered out. So that's the way that you'll win the challenge. Make sure that you do the homework and that you put it in the comments so that we can see it. Now, if you start putting in things late, or you that person that thinks what you're going to do is the last day of the challenge, you're going to just try to do all your homework, it's not going to work that way, right? You need to make sure that you put it in there the day of, and we're going to be checking that. We have a spreadsheet that we're keeping up with. So don't try to game the gamer, right? Don't try to game the gamer, y'all. Make sure that you get it in on time. So today's homework is pretty simple, right? Like I told you all, what we're going to be doing is we are going to be using LinkedIn as our powerhouse to create our speaker attraction profile, right? So what I want you all to do, and I'll be sure to put this in the comments of the video later on, is I need you to go to LinkedIn and to connect with me. I want you to go over to LinkedIn. That's today's homework assignment. You're going to go over to LinkedIn, and it's a website. And what I can do now is actually pull it up so I can show you all and put it into the comments of here so you all can have access to it. Just give me 1 minute. I'm going to put it in the comments so there's no excuses or holdups from any of you all on being able to get that done. Just give me one moment and I'll put it there for y'all. All right. Okay, cool. Cool. So y'all should have the LinkedIn to LinkedIn and be able to get there. Now, many of you might not have a LinkedIn set up yet. That's fun. All you can do, like very easy for yourself, right, is go over to LinkedIn, set up a profile. You don't even have to go into it in depth. Don't get distracted. Just put your name, right? A few things. It doesn't have to be set up like Evolves. We're going to teach you to set it up, right, in an attractive way. So just feel free to go over there and connect with me. That's the first step to your homework. And what do I mean by connection? When you go onto LinkedIn, right, what you can do, just like you would do on Facebook or Instagram, is you would just search for Evolve Benton and you would simply connect with me. So let me see if I can actually show you that as an example, because I know that I'm a visionary learner and you all might be that as well. So give me one moment. And what I'm going to do is actually share my screen so that you all can see me do this quick LinkedIn walkthrough. All right, cool. Let me make sure it's sharing. Okay, great. So this is my LinkedIn. This is what it looks like on the back end. So what I would simply do is, let's say I was searching for, I don't know, Tony Robbins, pretty cool guy, New York Times bestseller. I would go and I would simply go to connect, right? And it looks like Tony has some verification on here. So you need to do that. I don't have that set up on mine, so y'all don't have to worry about that. Let me close this up so y'all don't be in too much of the tea. But yeah, what you will go over is to connect, and then you would just connect with me. You could add a note and you could say, hey, this is so and so. I'm in the speaker attraction method 5-day challenge. Just wanted to connect with you. And that's simply what you would do to be able to connect with me on LinkedIn. Keep it simple, make it easy for yourself. Okay, great. So let me get back to the presentation at hand so we can make sure we got that going on. So that's step 1 of today's homework. And then step 2, once you've connected with me on LinkedIn, I want you to go to the homework post for day 1 and write, what is your biggest takeaway from day 1? Like, out of all the things we talked about today, what's your biggest takeaway? What did you learn? What is something you're walking away with? And I seen that some of you, I see that Jamal says, he said, I've seen the homework post. Great, Jamal. Make sure that you go on that post and you put this into the comments of that post. What is your biggest takeaway from day 1? Right? Did you think about speaking for prophecy, the way you're going to speak into your life? Did something pop up for you around the wealthy ecosystem? Whatever it may have been that really sparked your interest, I want you to share that within the group. What are the ways you can share that? That's usually the question I get. Some of you might be typists, right? You love to type. You can write it as a message, but you also can put a video. Take a video of yourself if you're not really into typing and post that onto the homework post so that we can see that. That's a great way to add it. Maybe you're not a video person and you want to do audio. Put the audio on there. However you want to describe and answer this homework question is great for us. I want to make this as accessible for you as possible. And I know that we've got different learners and different people who utilize this in different ways. So feel free to do it however you want to, but that's today's homework. Remember, getting the homework done and getting into action is the main foundation to being able to win that scholarship on Friday. Also, in order for you to win the scholarship on Friday, we need you to show up on Friday. So make sure that you show up in the space and that you're here to claim your prize. Don't show up every day and then not show up on Friday, right? We want you to be here in the space. So y'all, this is a wrap up of our training. And as we wrap up, I'll be doing this throughout our time together. I would love to show you all actually a video really quickly. Let me see if I can get this up of one of my clients and some feedback that they gave me, so you all can start dreaming on how they were able to utilize this particular method within their business, right? And be able to really grow their business and grow themselves. So let me see how I can do this. Okay, I think
I should have prepared for this better, but I actually don't recall. I've had a lot of speaking engagements, y'all, and it's been pretty miraculous when you call in what you're looking for. Putting yourself out there to your personal networks has been really phenomenal for me. Scary, but also like, okay, if the people in my community can support me, then that means soon come when I expand more to people who don't know me, I'll just continue to gain that practice and confidence. So one of the tools we also use is creating, your personal list of people, right, on your inner community who might be able to support what you're doing. And so as a result, I've been able to do some presentations and workshops for $4,000 each. Some I've slid down because I wanted the opportunity and the name and the connection. And the last thing I'll say before we move forward is I've learned that there's great value in offering free talks or low cost talks too, because you never know who's in that space. And also we can find other ways to create currency. So sometimes the currency is not monetary, even though that is the hope and the goal, and what definitely drives me. But also I'm learning that the value of relationship is there, and you never know who's in the circle back to you. So those are all great takeaways I've learned from the course.
All right, y'all. So y'all were able to hear this message, right? And that's Dr. Christine Coleman, one of my favorite clients that I'm able to work with and support. And what I really wanted you all to hear in that message was that it started from Dr. Christine making that leads list that we're going to make tomorrow on day 2, right? It started from that, mapping out her offer and then making a list of people that she was going to reach out to. And since that video, she's made $20,000 from the ecosystem that I taught you all about today, and really from that speaker attraction method. So it's our powerhouse. It's something that all of my paid students and speakers utilize to be able to build that foundation in their business. And I'm so excited to share it with you all as we move forward. So I hope that you enjoyed day 1 of the training. I will be back tomorrow, same time, same place. And tomorrow we're going to get into mapping out your offer and really start to think about who are the people that you're going to reach out to so that you can get on phone calls, qualified phone calls with decision makers in the next 5 days. So thank you all for being here for day 1. I hope that you all have an amazing day, and I look forward to supporting you and getting paid to speak. Have a great day, and peace. Thank you, Nisha, for being here. I appreciate it. Appreciate the love. For all of the VIPs, you all will get a Zoom link. Don't forget, head over to the Zoom link and we'll do a Q&A in the next 10 minutes. For the folks who have not signed up but would like to sign up for the Q&A session and get the VIP, I will be sending that link out to you all again, but you should have it in your email as well. All right, y'all. Peace. Have a good day.